Okay, I have to do this video again, or this reaction again, because my mic was apparently off earlier. And I have no problem going over it again, because what I said before, I have no problem saying again. So, Barnes & Noble management kicked Arizona Trump supporter Ethan Schmidt out of the store after harassing shoppers at the Pride book display and others for their vaccination status. I also said, first and foremost, and I know I've said it before about how every time I say something or think something, I go through comments on whatever social media it is, and I'm amazed that somebody else actually says exactly what I was thinking or what I was saying. And what I did say as my first insult is that it was really, really cool of him to bring his boyfriend with him while he went on about what a proud patriot he was in somebody else's bookstore. And there's like 50 billion people talking about how, you know, this kid who's walking around with him calling him sir must be his boyfriend, and how he must be closeted in the worst way because of this. Of course, as you know, he's going to say it's not about a boyfriend, man. What it's really about is having somebody there with him so that he doesn't feel like an idiot. Having somebody there with him because he has no self-esteem and no sense of bravery. He can't not feel like a pussy if he has somebody with him. You know, it's like when I was back in school, you always knew those girls in school who wore the exact same T-shirt, or they wore the exact same thing to school on the same day, and they did that shit. They did that shit because they obviously didn't want to be called any names for looking like a moron. So they wouldn't go to school wearing what they wanted to unless they got other people to dress exactly like them. And that's kind of what this reminds me of.
Sir, do you have a gay pride section for children?
For children?
Yes.
I don't think we have one for children, no.
Thank God.
Pride table right there.
Thank God you don't have one for children. Thank you, sir.
Check it out. See if there's kid stuff in there.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. He's trying to bait this guy into getting into an argument with him. Gay pride section for children? The gay pride section is for anybody who wants to read them. The gay pride section is for anybody who wants to buy gay pride books. It's there for everyone. And you could tell that this employee knew exactly what he was trying to do. He knew exactly what this guy was all about. And he just doesn't give a shit. So good on him.
Yeah, let's check it out, though. Let's make sure. Because if there is, we're going to have to complain to corporate about that.
You can't take their word for it.
We're going to have to complain to corporate. I've said this before as well. Nobody cares about your complaints. Corporate does not give a fuck about you. Corporate will never give a fuck about Karens and Kens. That is absolutely not a threat. You are not scaring anybody by saying you're going to go to corporate. Corporate can give a fuck less about what you like and don't like. First of all, if it has to do with policy, if it has to do with what a company is choosing to sell, that nobody has a problem with but you, they don't care. And the employees don't care. And by the way, corporate's never going to see your dumbass complaint either. Corporate doesn't worry about your complaints. Anything that did reach their boardroom, they will ball up and throw in the garbage.
Sneak stuff in like a Trojan horse.
Here's the gay loser pride section.
all proud of yourself, buddy boy, for chasing women away? You didn't own them, by the way, and they don't care what you have to say. They were looking at the books. They were interested in the books. They don't want to put up with your shit, and they probably think you and your man tits are disgusting and gross. And you're smirking into the camera. Yeah, you totally got them. You just chased chicks away. They don't want anything to do with your ugly ass. That is nothing I would post to the world, my dude. And look at that ugly ass mustache. That's another thing. I think Sam Cedar was speaking about it. Like he told that Dare kid, if this were 200 years, 200 years, you would be dead for 10 years. 200 years ago, you wouldn't last a week. That Dare kid would probably be doing more with his life than you would 200 years ago. Get rid of the fucking mustache. You don't look more adult. You don't look handsome. You look like a fat dude with boobs who is trying to make up for the fact that he's such a pussy by growing one of those Robert E. Lee deals on his face. It doesn't make you look better.
Gay loser pride section. Gay loser pride section. I'm just really tempted just to kick it down, man.
It's very unstable, much like their ideology.
They have it right in the middle of the store, too.
Gay loser pride section. I want to kick it over. You're not going to kick it over, though, are you, you douche? You're not going to do a damn thing, are you? By the way, thanks for advertising those books to everybody.
It's like a satanic shrine.
It's a showcase.
A satanic shrine. You're not only ugly, you're not only bigoted, you're fucking evil too. I think Satanists have more morals, common sense, and decency towards other human beings than you're showing right now. Satanic shrine. Well, if it's so satanic, why don't you do your civic duty as a good old American and knock that shit over and see how far that gets you? You're not going to do shit to it, though, are you? You douche.
Excuse me, y'all vaccinated? Y'all vaccinated? You get the COVID-19? Yeah? Natural selection. Natural selection, they said, folks.
That's not what natural selection means. You want to know who's an example of natural selection? You. It's like George Carlin said, natural selection. The kid who swallows too many marbles doesn't grow up to have kids of his own. You had a deadly pandemic. It killed over 1 million people in the United States. And most of those people didn't have to die. They died because of people like you. That's not natural selection. I would consider that murder or manslaughter. The audacity of people like you. And you have a vaccine. You're already vaccinated. You're still alive on this earth today because you got over chickenpox and shingles and measles and mumps and all manner of other diseases that were likewise eradicated by the use of vaccines. By refusing to take a vaccine, you could very well drop dead from COVID or suffer lifelong effects from COVID that may also lead you to your demise. And you would deserve it. That's what natural selection is. Nature gets to take out dumb people like you. Those people are the smart ones for protecting themselves against diseases. You are making the conscious decision not to. And then put yourself out in public around other people who were smart enough to protect themselves and others. You get COVID, you end up croaking. That will be natural selection.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Like Peppermint Patty, and we all know what they said about her. We all know what they said about Peppermint Patty and that little other girl that always called her sir. That's what you two look like right now.
Ooh, a natural selection.
Ethan Schmidt, right?
What?
Ethan Schmidt, right?
Yeah.
I need you to leave.
Whoa.
So, if you would, I need you to leave.
Whoa, we got Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Good day.
What's
Yeah, he's Kevin.
wrong? What's wrong?
I need you to leave.
You don't like Ethan Schmidt?
No, I need you to leave.
Why?
You can't just, you need to leave.
You don't like Ethan Schmidt? I'm Ethan Schmidt, dude. No, you're only known as some fucking ugly douche that goes into private businesses to harass people. Nobody likes you. Nobody cares about you. You just filmed yourself chasing women away before you even got to say hello.
You don't like Ethan Schmidt?
Sir?
Hey, we exposed all your woke shit, so
That's fine.
yeah.
Have a good day.
We already exposed it, so all right.
We already exposed it. Exposed what? You insufferable piece of shit. They are a private business. That shit is on display in their store. People are looking at their display. They are buying these books. What the fuck did you expose? You advertised for them, you fucking dipshit. You dumbass motherfucker. You gave them free advertising. You didn't expose shit. You can't expose what they have on a table in the middle of a busy fucking store. You even called it a satanic shrine. So they made a shrine out of queer literature? What did you expose?
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
They teamed up on you.
Oh, it's Ethan Schmidt. Oh, it's Ethan Schmidt.
So do you think they knew you, or they like figured out who you were really quickly?
You know why he says exposed? It has nothing to do with children. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It's because he's Ethan Schmidt. He's Ethan Schmidt, and he went in there and he just Ethan Schmidted your whole store. He exposed it. He totally exposed you, dog, because he's Ethan Schmidt. Fuck you, you little bastard. Leave the store like a good little bitch and take your boyfriend out for an ice cream cone. What a sad man. He must feel so inferior and unloved to do this. He got the exact reaction he wanted, so gleeful to be known as a hate monger. They know who I am. No, they don't know who he is. You don't like Ethan Schmidt? He didn't say anything about liking you. He knows that you're a piece of shit. And that's part of the reason he wants your ass out of the store. And you're going to leave the store like a good little bitch, aren't you? Don't forget the to everything anyone has to say or any look he gets. Ha ha ha! Is that the noise he makes when the load comes dripping out of his nose after taking one? Ironically, if he likes to take a load in the face, good for him. It's the only thing about him that would be okay. This the same guy who tried this shit at Target? I hope everyone bans him for every store before he walks into them. His life must be so miserably boring. During COVID, he got reset to factory settings by the Dare Kid doing his job. We exposed your woke shit. The big display in the middle of the store with a sign over it. You exposed it, huh? What you did is called advertising. Thanks for doing it for free. Next thing they'll do is buy all those books so they can burn them. That'll show them. You're not an Ethan Schmidt fan? What a nutsack. I bet one book falls open and they both read it, get married, and live happily ever after. I'm pretty sure the turning gay thing has already happened. Those dudes probably made out in the car after this to own the libs or some stupid shit. Conservatives would have never known about this because it's a bookstore and they don't read. That's so nice of his boyfriend to follow him around like that. Ha ha! That's called a natural selection mustache, as in most women will select no. Why do you think he's there with this good boyfriend? You'll never see a woman walking into a store with him, and that's something I would like to challenge Ethan Schmidt to do. If you're so totally not gay, and you're so totally into all this American shit, and you totally are handsome, and girls totally love you, and so totally not what everybody knows you are, then why don't you do that? Why don't you get, like, a whole gaggle of chicks to walk into a store with you and have them argue, okay? Just to make sure you don't offer money to random chicks to follow you anywhere, they're going to have to do the exact same thing that you are. And they're going to have to be willing to go further than you are. Next time you see the woke display at the bookstore, instead of whining and crying about it and then dutifully walking out like the little bitch you are, go ahead. You and your little bitches, go up to that display and knock it over. Set fire to it. You want to be known as a true patriot? Then go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it, and you should have absolutely no problem with this challenge. You should have absolutely no problem doing it. And people that are with you should also have no problem doing it. You're never going to take up this challenge, no matter who were to give it to you, because you would never do that. You would never even think of doing something like that, would you, you little bitch? Some reason all fascists either have terrible haircuts or terrible mustaches. He can be both. I'm positive he's a closeted, self-hating gay. Most of these hyper-conservative guys are. Yep, it's Pube Face, the dude who got humiliated by the 15-year-old. We shouldn't assign homosexuality to every guy who's a raging asshole. That would be insulting to gay people. I agree with your point, but when it's been documented that the guy was on Grindr and you see a video of him being an asshole about pride-related books in a bookstore, I think that's appropriate here. Genuinely astonished that no one has beat the shit out of him at this point. This is what he tries to do to make a living off of. You want to know what would make somebody a lot of money? For someone to video themselves knocking his ass out cold someday. Part that pisses me off is he's not even good at his shtick. And it's the easiest shtick of all. Dude is dumb as fuck. This guy's going to approach the wrong person one day, and I can't wait. No, I don't think so. I don't even think, any of these employees at the store or any of the people at the store were the wrong people, but he's not going to raise his voice to them. He's not going to knock over the display, and when security tells him to leave, he's going to walk out like the little bitch he is. He even told the Dare kid, oh, I'm not going to do anything because I'm not going to go to jail for you. Why don't you hit me? The kid already told him, I'm not going to put my hands on you and go to jail over you. Personally, I would. I would. What the fuck's going to happen? A night in jail and a $100 fine? If you really don't care, go ahead and do it. You really don't like gay people? Go ahead and do something. You don't like the satanic queer display? Go ahead and do something. Please do. So that we can put each and every one of you motherfuckers away. Because setting fires and shit is a totally different story. I have moved. Subs aren't necessarily boyfriends, especially when they're paid. Don't kid yourself, homie won't ever be loved, at least not for free. Yeah, that's right. That's why, I don't know, I would have to figure out some things, when it comes to telling this guy to go ahead and do it, because he can't get women to go along with him unless he pays them. And if he did pay them, it wouldn't be enough for them to knock over Barnes & Noble displays or start fights. So he's going to continue going around with his little friend and threatening things that he's not going to follow through with. And, when security comes around, he is going to walk the fuck out with his tail between his legs like the little bitch he is. And he's going to go over to the food court and buy an ice cream cone for the guy that is totally not his boyfriend at all. Can't even begin to tell you how pleased I am to add cockduster mustache to my lexicon. Now I understand the shit-eating grin. 1,000% those two assholes are either virgins or sex predators. Guaranteed their hard drives are loaded with some heinous shit. Two grown men just spent their weekend going to the bookstore to peruse the queer section. I have gay friends that haven't had a date that was that gay. Oh yeah, here's the Dare kid again. Kid was too cool to be working for Dare. Video is a must-watch every time this dude shows up. Wait a minute. Fuck you, okay. This is that guy? I remember seeing the Dare kid dunk on him. Never thought I'd ever see him show his face again. Because he has nothing left to lose. What a sad, short, little fat twat. Gay loser pride section. I've heard better quality insights from middle schoolers. And the women looking at him like, what an idiot. He thinks it's funny. Yep. Yeah, I mean, isn't it a bit ironic? He wants to gain kudos for dunking on gay people when women turn around and walk the fuck away from you. I think it's time for you to realize there is actually got to be nothing gayer than that. Don't you think? I mean, you think you're being so totally not gay for hating on gay people? You are literally turning women away from you. Like, I haven't seen anything like this since 7th grade or in a Rob Schneider movie, which is scripted comedy. I have almost never seen any guy that women just give a look and turn around and walk away. And that's got to really say something right there. Because he's bashing the queer section at a bookstore. It's vision that these guys lack. It's common sense that these guys lack. It's decency that these guys lack. Who would have ever thought bashing gay people would make women turn around and walk away? I think that's supposed to be your wake-up call, dude. I don't know. I could say more. I think I had better things to say earlier, but my mic was muted. Hopefully I'll get this shit fixed very, very soon. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Repost.